Alright, we're back. It's been a minute, but UFC 317 just finished. Honestly, fucking insane card, best card of the year in my opinion so far. Um, should talk about just recap it a bit. Give some recaps, some next fights, talk about what went down in this card. We'll start with the main event. Just talk about the main fights to begin with, and then talk about some of the earlier prelims as we go forward. Main event, Ilia and Charles. What can you say? I'm at a loss for words when it comes to Topuria now, bro. That fucking knockout of Charles, everyone's seen it. It's the most viral shit in the world right now, I swear. He's honestly, not to be hyperbolic right now, but he's the best fighter I've ever seen with my own two eyes. The guys that he's just putting out that easily, that, it's insane to me. Volk, Max, Charles, I don't know who touches this guy. Legends, when you're a legend, you fight another legend, usually you go to a very competitive fight, a war with them, and if you show levels, then you're the man. Think Volk and Max. They needed 3 fights to really show who was the better man, and that's when Volk, really showed levels over Max. Or, Islam and Volk had a fucking war in the first fight. Or just, even Poirier and Islam, these guys who are legendary fighters, they have these very competitive fights. Ilia, when you put him in there with a legend, he just fucking takes them out. And it's not like these guys are necessarily they're older, right? Charles is older. He's not I don't think he's the same fighter that he was a couple years ago when he was a champion. But he's come off a win, a 5-round win. He looked pretty good in it. He beat Max off the best performance of his fucking career. The Volk one, that's a different scenario. But he's insane. I don't know who beats him at 155. I honestly think he knocks out Islam at 55 and maybe even at 170. If Islam, were to never come back down and fight Topuria. More about the fight though, he was just Charles was so outmatched in the feet when it came to the speed, the precision, the power, all of it. He had no chance on the feet. And then even when he did it to take down, Ilia landed on top. Got out of the leg lock. It was just never. The fight went 2.5 minutes. There's no really success for Oliveira, and Ilia just, if that's what it is now with Topuria, where he needed one shot at featherweight, but if that's when he had you backed up against the cage, he kind of ripped the body, ripped the head. It's if all he needs now, 155, is just one shot in the center of the cage. In the center of the octagon, mind you. I don't know. I think he fucking sleeps everybody, to be honest. I think we'll talk about his next fights in a second, but I don't know who beats this guy. As for who he should fight next, in my opinion, I don't think the UFC is going to give Armand a title shot. I don't think that goes down. They've been saying that they're not going to do that, so just take them at the word, saying that they're not going to do that. And I think they should realistically, they should make Paddy and Gaethje fight soon, and then have Ilia fight the winner towards the end of the year. Maybe MSG, maybe December, maybe the beginning of 26 also. But I think the winner of that fight should fight Topuria. But if they don't set to make that fight, I can also see it being either Gaethje or Paddy, one of those two. But I don't think it really matters. Paddy would try and wrestle more with Ilia, but he's not going to get a takedown against him. He's just not. Topuria is too compact, too stocky, too good to take down defense, too good of a grappler himself. And Gaethje has no fucking shot against him. So, that's what I think for Ilia, the new lightweight champion. And as for Charles, please take time off. That was such a bad knockout. He got folded so quickly with one shot. I'd take maybe come back at the end of the year, November or December. Think about coming back early 26th. If he were to come back late this year, early next year, some guys I could see him fighting. One, I think the fight we should see is Max Holloway. It's Oliveira. It's a rematch at 155. It's a great fight. I'd slightly lean Max at this point in their careers, but I just, Oliveira's fought a lot of guys at 155. He's fought Gaethje, he's fought Armand, he's fought Poirier, he's fought Chandler. Like the guys he hasn't fought, that I think would be compelling matchup for him to take, would be Holloway, which would be like, you know, a legend, former champ fight. Maybe like a Dan Hooker, because those two, like, you know, those two boys fucking scrap. It's scrap it out. But main thing for Oliveira, just please take time off. Like, I think we were all like, most MMA fans collectively were like, what the fuck? When you see Oliveira get absolutely folded like that. So, take time off. Get back in there. Maybe December. Maybe November. Because November is what, like 5 months away? 4 months, like 4 or 5 months away? December's like 5 months away. Even that, man. Like, maybe come back early 2026. But, yeah, I think Ilia, at this point, looks very unbeatable. And as for who he fights next, I think either Paddy or Gaethje. I don't think it really makes a difference as far as level of difficulty. And as for Charles, take time off. And maybe find Max or Dan Hooker. Maybe that'd be good. Moving on. Co-main event. Pantoja and Kai France. Pantoja's a fucking demon, bro. Like, this guy gets better and better each time he gets out there. And, like, I used to not, like, enjoy watching Pantoja's style. I used to thought, like, he was kind of like a lay and play grappler. Especially his Royval fight. It's like his first title defense. I think we were all pissed off. Or I was at least pissed off when he took the belt off Moreno. But he gets better and better each time he gets out there. Like, the Asakura fight was just clockwork. Like, dissected him. And this one was even worse than that. Like, first round was arguably 10-8. Kai had no, like, he got taken down the first 20 seconds and got held there in body triangle for 4.5 minutes. Second round, he got outstruck in third round. Same sort of idea as the first, but he just got finished this time. Even, like, I told you, striking was just looking better and better. And it's just, it's efficient enough for him to land his takedown, and once he starts grappling with you, you have no shot with him, to be honest. I'm going to get to Pantoja's next fight in a minute when we cover the featured fight. But for Kai, I mean, this is kind of, most people expected. I don't think anyone's really picking Kai France. Unless you're, you know, Maori from New Zealand or Australia. But, he should, like, his next fight should be against Manel Kape. Like, we've been waiting on that fight for, like, 2 years now. So, Kape just pulled out. He's waiting to get his foot fixed. Kai France just got beat the fuck up. So he's gonna take time off. When they both collectively come back, please book that fight, UFC. Like, there's no other thing that makes sense. Like, you're gonna book both versus I don't get it, you know? Like, the title picture's, like, held up at the moment by Josh Van. Like, he's made his claims, and he's gonna get it. So, like, these other matchups, like, just make the fight that we want to see. Make Kai France versus Manel Kape. We deserve it. Striking fight, they go to war. Make it a main event fight, I care. I'd watch it. I'll talk about Pantoja's. I mean, because Pantoja and Josh Van are going to fight next, right? I'll talk about that after. No, I'll talk about that now. We'll talk about Royval after. It's fine. So, Josh Van and Royval went to a fucking war in the featured fight. On one of the best fights I've ever seen in my entire life. This is what I'm saying. This card was fucking insane. Like, these last 3 fights were crazy. This flyweight featured fight was one of the best fights I've ever seen in my entire life. With the volume, the insane amounts of volume from Royval, and, like, Josh Van's boxing is fucking insane. Like, it blows my mind how he's only 23. And he's getting a title shot against Pantoja now, right? I don't know. Like, when I was watching the Van fight, I was like, yo, Van has a shot against Pantoja if you were to fight him. But then I watched Pantoja fight, I'm like, yo, no one can fucking beat this guy. Because realistically, it's like, when it comes down to that fight, can Josh Van not get submitted if he gets taken down and controlled? That's the whole idea. That's how this fight's going to go. If he gets taken down, he's going to get taken down. You can't just not get taken. He has great takedown defense, but he's going to get taken down, right? Pantoja is inevitable. When he does get controlled and out-grappled, will you get submitted? Because you don't get submitted, and you can prolong it to, like, the second, the third, like, the fourth, the fifth round. I think Van can take over in those rounds. He has a great gas tank. He's non-stop pressure. He's going to counter the fuck out of Pantoja on the feet when they do strike. I just don't think Pantoja's going to be really willing to strike. He's going to do his usual blitz into a takedown, blitz into a takedown, blitz into a takedown. And if Joshua Van can, like, withstand that, which is very difficult. No one's been able to do it, right? Then he can win this fight in the later rounds. But then again, Pantoja also has a great gas tank. He just keeps going. Like, so we got to see it. Like, it's one of those things like an immovable object versus like an unstoppable force. Like, I don't really know how it's gonna play out because I'm just amazed by Joshua Van. Also, I think we all are, right? He's so young, so talented, and it seems like he seems special, right? In a way, which like a month ago he was fighting Bruno Silva on like the prelims of 316, and now we're looking at him getting a title shot. Like it happened like that, and he's good enough, right, to be the number one contender. Which like I was thinking about, wow, that's insane. But I think Pantoja Van is gonna be a great fight. I don't see how it plays out. If I were to give a percentage lead, I'd probably say like 65-35 Pantoja probably. And that's giving a lot of credit to Joshua Van, honestly. I think a lot of people just see Pantoja just running like water because he's done to everyone else except Moreno and Usyk. But like it's those kind of fights that give me like an idea that Van can do well. But recently Pantoja's been on fucking fire. So yeah, we gotta see that fight, and we're gonna see it later this year. So I'm really excited for that also. Brandon Royval fought honestly an incredible fight also. Like he was training for Male Cap. That fight fell through. He took the Josh Van fight, we didn't have to, and he just also put on a great performance. Like I think Van showed the holes in his game where he's very like tap on the feet, just tapping strikes. He's susceptible to get countered one, and he doesn't land with much power. So he can really outvolume guys, and he has done that in the past. He's done it with, Brandon Moreno, and just like a lot of guys, a lot of great fighters in the past. But when you have a guy who can counter well, and can also just like go like strike for strike with you, it's gonna be a tough fight. He's also in a weird spot now, where he's fought a lot of guys 125. You think the guys he's fought Pantoja twice, he's fought Moreno twice, he's fought Joshua Van, he's fought Kai France, he's fought Tatsuro Taira. I think there's one option at flyweight that comes to my mind. Ailo's talked about moving to bantamweight in the past, and he does do that. Go fight, Song Yadong. Fight Song Yadong. It's a good fight for him to have. Or just go move to bantamweight and see the options there. Song Yadong, Figueiredo. He may even get an Umar fight. Who knows? Because Umar doesn't have a lot of opponents usually. But if you were to say at flyweight, I'd say the best move for him is to fight Kyoji Horiguchi, who was supposed to fight Tigir Bekov last week in Azerbaijan. That fell out. So he's like looking to get some time. Again, Royval's had a fucking war. He's gonna take some time off. Welcome back, this former UFC fighter, back into UFC. It's a winnable fight for Royval also, but I just don't know if he wants to stay at 125 at this point. I think his best option probably is to go up to 135 and just see who he can fight. And he may, I don't know how his style translates to 135 or how he translates to 135, but it's one way to find out, right? So I think the likelier option is right, stays 125. I think the better option for him would probably go to 135, get bigger, better fights. Moving along, then Dariush Moicano. Good performance by Dariush. He looked better. Like he looked back to his old ways. Like he looked well. He was well rounded. Didn't get taken down. Grappled well. Kickboxed well. He was still chinny on the feet. It was good. Like I can't really say much about it. I was saying more so Moicano could complete shit this fight. Like his takedowns weren't there. He was getting taken down. Aside from one knockdown in the first round, he had nothing to give on the feet. As far as next fights go, I know they were talking about Dariush versus Hoofi before they made this fight. Now Dariush got a win. Make the Hoofi fight. Like realistically, Dariush isn't gonna fight upwards in the division. Like, are you really gonna make it Dariush versus like Dan fight, or Dariush versus like you're not gonna push him out the division. So he's gonna be fighting young guys. So he can fight like a Fiziev maybe. But I think like what the UFC wants to do is give him Hoofy. And maybe, after seeing that, after seeing him, kind of just, wrestle Mike Connell, maybe he can do that to Hoofy too. I doubt it. He gets knocked out probably in the first round. I'd also, love to see Hoofy get pushed up the division, so I'm a bit biased here. But I think they should make Hoofy versus Dariush. Doing a fight, pay-per-view main card slot. Make it a Fight Night headliner. You do it to in Brazil. As for Moicano, I don't sit with this guy anymore. This is a really bad performance by him, and I don't know, how shit is BSD? How shit is Jalen Turner? It makes you think these things, right? Doesn't really matter as far as his next fight goes. I think he's fight Joel Alvarez. Tough, right? Joel Alvarez is a fucking monster. He probably beats the shit out of Moicano, but that's just how the game goes, bro. So, you lost back to back. Your win streak's not gonna fizzle out. So I think you should fight Joel Alvarez. Fight Joel Alvarez. Unranked versus ranked. Defend your ranking spot. Just makes sense. It can probably happen later this year also. So I think that should be the next fight for those two. Bantamweight out. Payton Talbott versus Felipe Lima. Talbott back in the win column. Bounced back after his loss earlier this year to Barcelos. Great performance. Honestly, his composure was on point the entire time. And honestly, this fight came down to the composure, in my opinion. Talbot is always the guy who's going to keep composure no matter what. Even when he's losing against Barcelos, he's always stone face, walking forward. It's kind of corny in a way, but it matters when you're fighting a guy like Lima, who's very finicky. And he's just trying a bunch of shit all the time. He's trying the spinning wheel kicks, bouncing on the feet, trying these weird, Peter Yan style trips. And you stay composed. You're not vulnerable to those sort of attacks. And that's how Talbot won this fight, really. A lot of times when Lima would try and take him down, Talbot would just end up in top position, laying ground and pound, right out the round. That's when he won, I think it was rounds 1 and 3. I want to say I know he won 2-1, 29-28, but he really composed this fight. And he made his call out to Adrian Yanez. Yeah, if that's the striking fight that we want to see for Talbot. We knew this fight would be Lima trying to take him down. We knew his last fight was Barcelos trying to take him down. So, give Talbot a striking match. Let's get back to seeing him get some strikers. Yanez isn't going to try and box them. I don't think that goes well for him. I think Talbot can put him out. And let's get Payton Talbot back to being active again, right? He could really see, he didn't take that much damage. But at least that was visible. Get him on Noche. On the Noche Fight Night against Adrian Yanez. He has some Mexican ties or Latin American ties. So, that's very doable for the UFC. And as for Felipe Lima, I had his next match. I got it. Ricky Simone. Besides that, although Lima lost this fight, we still all recognize that he's insanely talented. He's gonna go far. You could consider also going back into the featherweight because he did have success in featherweight, but I think you give him a Ricky Simone fight. Ricky Simone's also on an upward trajectory right now, so I think Lima at this point is still more talented than Simone is. So I think he can kind of halt that and gain some of Simone's momentum and kind of get back into the ranked conversations or top upper echelon of the unranked of 135. If you to fight and beat Ricky Simone. Moving along now. We're going to talk about Rodriguez, Delgado, and then Terrence McKinney's next fights. Gregory Rodriguez knocked Jack Hermansson out brutally. We all knew that's a possibility whenever Rodriguez gets in there. This big fucking Brazilian guy throws bombs on the feet and clips Hermansson. When you look at middleweight right now, Rodriguez did just get a ranked shot against Jerry Cannonier, but then he also just beat Hermansson, who was ranked for the longest time, and kind of got taken off rankings for no reason. So they're probably going to give him a ranked shot again. And when you looked at 185, everyone basically, who makes sense for Rodriguez to fight is basically booked up. You go down, basically Hernandez and Delizera booked up, and thinking about Brennan Allen, Marvin Torta booked up, and Shara's not even 185. No, he's not in the ranking at 185. But the back half of the 185 top 15 is booked up, except for Boost Magomedov. And I don't even know how fucking Boost Magomedov got there, to be honest. To be completely real. He beat Michel Pereira, but like, top 15? Eh. So, see if Rodriguez can go and take that from him. Yeah, I think those two can have a good fight, probably be. But they're both fairly well rounded on the feet and on the ground. So they can be a good fight. You can do that in Abu Dhabi. You can do that. Maybe they go to Brazil this year at some point. I'm surprised they haven't gone yet, but they probably will later in the year, I assume. But yeah, I think Rodriguez and Abus would have, like, they would put on a good fight. I lean Rodriguez, actually pretty heavily lean Rodriguez in that one. I think he can land big shots on the feet that can hurt Abus, and I think he can really not be impacted by his takedowns. I think he has to be a pretty not sizable favorite, but I think he has the keys, pretty obvious keys to win that fight. Let's go with now quickly Jose Delgado and Terence McKinney, just because they got like these like sub 1 minute finishes. Just gotta talk to these guys for a quick second. Jose Delgado, like, I thought this fight was gonna be a war with him and Haddam. I thought these two were gonna go at it, like a fucking scrap. Knocked him out with a knee in 25 seconds. That was shocking. So this one today, this card from top to bottom is fucking great. There's like some dull moments, very few, but this card is really good. Like Jose Delgado, like Jairo Mill was on a 3-fight win streak in the UFC. Like he was trending upwards to getting towards ranked. This is basically a fight between like who's moving upwards next. Two hot prospects, who's going up, and it's Delgado, right? So I think, like you gotta look at guys who are like just on the edge of the rankings at 145 for Delgado to fight, and if you're not gonna give a rank shot right away, like, no. There is like Gato Nala doesn't have a fight right now, but like you're not really gonna. Did he really earn a top 15 shot yet? I doubt it. So there's guys like Chepe Mariscal, he can fight. There's guys like Melky Costa, Joannis Brito, Pat Sabatini, like these sort of guys. If I had to pick out the best option there, I think him and Melky Costa have a fucking scrap. I think that'd be really fun. And Melky Costa is also in a big win streak this year. He's won like 3 fights just this year already. It's not like he's on his Kevin Holland shit. But there's that. There's Chepe Mariscal also. Him and Delgado have a fucking war as well. If I'm the one making the matchup, stay from the Pat Sabatinis and make a Mariscal or Melky Costa versus Jose Delgado. Just so you can give this guy a chance to show his skills again. Because so far, he has 2 first-round knockouts that have just gone like this, and he's been running through his comp so far in the UFC. So I want to see him against someone who can take his shots and just have a fucking scrap. Just have a scrap. Just see how he holds up to that. That's what I want to see. And finally, Terence McKinney got another win. Sub 1 minute, first round again. Submission against Slavkov. He literally just ran across the cage, shot a takedown, got him down. He had him in an anaconda, Dar's choke. Like, he's kind of going, I think it was an anaconda choke for a while. And then he transitioned that into a guillotine, mounted guillotine, and then once that was the case, he had him locked up. It was wraps. As far as who McKinney should fight next, I mean, we've seen this, like, said in this group before, he'd get big wins, or quick wins, and really impressive wins against guys who aren't the greatest levels of comp, and then he'd lose to someone like, who move up in the division, like, Esteban Ribovic, or, Drew Dober upon a time. He lost to him. Ismail Bonfim upon a time, right? So I want to look at someone who's, like, clearly better than this level of Borshchev, that, if you think so, but also, like, he's not as, not a hot prospect also at the minute. My guy for Terence McKinney next is Elvis Brennan. I think that'd be a scrap for as long as it lasts. I think McKinney, I don't know, I think probably lean Brenner in the later rounds in that fight, to be honest. McKinney, like, I don't know if he can get Brenner out of there in the first round with his grappling or striking. I mean, maybe he can get submission or takedown submission early, but I think Brenner can survive. Because Elvis Brenner at the end of the day was also a fucking dog. Like, he did lose to Joel Alvarez last year, but he he had a fucking fight against him. He had a fucking fight against Mike Orlby. Beat Guram for whatever that's worth in 2025. But I think McKinney and Brennan would be a fucking scrap. And I think you can put them like a pay-per-view premium. It's, again, maybe a Fight Night main card even. Or definitely a Fight Night main card. You could, like, with the way these like cards have been so far this year, and how they're looking, going forward, you can definitely put that on a Fight Night main card. But yeah, those are my UFC 317, I guess my little recap and next fights. So I'll just go upwards and recap who I said these guys should fight next. I got Terrence McKinney should fight Elvis Brenner. Honestly, you can do that later in the summer or early in the fall because McKinney took no damage in this fight. Jose Delgado, I got him against Chevy Merscal and Melky Costa. I say do that on he called for Noche. So just do that fight on Noche. Or one of those. I mean, do Chevy Merscal. They both have Latin American roots. So do that fight on Noche. Gregory Rodriguez, I have him against Abus Magomedov later in the year, maybe Abu Dhabi, maybe Brazil. Payton Talbott, booked him against Adrian Yanez, also on Noche, just so we can get Payton Talbot spotlight on the big fight night card. Felipe Lima, I said you should fight Ricky Simone. You can do that on like a, that's a versatile one. You can put that on like the prelims of pay-per-view, fight night main card, an Apex main card. Like you can put that on whatever, to be honest. Dariush, I think you should fight Hoofy, Richard Hoofy, on either pay-per-view, main card, opener, for like one of those like earlier pay-per-view fights, or do it in the main event in Brazil. That's what I want. Moicano, Joel Alvarez, get him out of here. You can do that maybe in Abu Dhabi. Honestly, that's the first one. You can do that like anywhere in the world really. Brazil, U.S., international. Brandon Royval, either fight Kyoji Horiguchi and like welcome him back to the UFC, or I say go up to 35 and look at Song Yadong, Davidson Figueiredo when he gets back from injury, Umar, Rob Font, maybe even Henry Cejudo. Who knows? Joshua Van is going to fight Pantoja for the title next. It'll be very exciting. I think that fight takes place maybe October, November maybe, around there. Maybe like Madison Square Garden, something like that maybe. Charles Oliveira, oh no, not that. Kakar France, fight that on Cap. Just do it whenever Cap's back from injury, or Kakar France is back, recovered from this fight. Do that fight maybe. Maybe they go back to Australia some point later this year. Main event, Oliveira is to fight either Holloway or Hooker later this year or next year. And finally, Ilia is either going to fight Gaethje or Paddy, I think. And also late this year, early next year. Yeah, that was my 317 next fights and recap. Hope you all enjoyed. Catch you soon.